Hi mamas, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while since I've done a video. Life got busy and yeah, I couldn't fit it in amongst everything else. So here I am. And today I'm going to be doing a video that I think you guys are going to enjoy. I'm going to be sharing our top 5 toys of the moment. Because my most popular videos here on YouTube, the ones that you guys like the most, are generally my playroom tours and my toy recommendations. So here I am. I'm going to share our top 5 toys of the moment, the things that my daughter is most enjoying, and give you some inspiration if you're looking for that. So very recently I was gifted some wonderful resources by a company called Jacques of London. If you haven't heard of them, I'll link them below. Jacques are actually one of the oldest toy manufacturers, toy companies in the world. And they started making toys in the 1800s, I believe. It's a really well-renowned company with a really good reputation based here in the UK. And they're actually responsible for inventing some of the games that we know and love today. Things like snakes and ladders, ping pong, croquet. So some of those really old-fashioned games which are still really popular at the moment. So I'm going to share some of the toys and resources that were gifted to us from Jacques, some of the things that my daughter is most enjoying at the moment. And sometimes they're not always toys. You know how I love toys that aren't toys? So nothing that is necessarily particularly a toy but can be used so open-endedly and can be used so creatively by children. So anyway, let's get into that list of 5. So the first one on the list is Dominoes. If you haven't got Dominoes for your child, then you need to go and get some. The ones that we have from Jacques of London are absolutely beautiful. They are kind of like a ceramic type of material, so they feel really nice, really smooth, and they're really cold as well, which my daughter always comments on. But they have a lovely weight, really good quality. And dominoes in general can be used for so many things when it comes to children. And dominoes are actually something you can introduce to a child as young as maybe 1, even younger, because they are quite big. They're really interesting to look at. They feel nice. They make a wonderful sound when they're all mixed together in the bowl, which obviously younger children love. So they have that kind of sensory appeal. So what my daughter likes to use them for at the moment, being 4 years old, she's very much into number work, math work. So she loves counting, she loves matching up numbers and all that kind of thing. So we'll play dominoes where she'll match up the numbers, she'll count all the spots and then she'll match them to an actual number. She uses them for stacking, she likes to line them up. We like to do the typical dominoes thing where you line them and then knock them down, which is really fun for children. She loves to make little trails with them. And although they do have an actual purpose, there is a way to play dominoes. They can be used so open-endedly for children. Because they're so movable, they can use them in different types of play. So my daughter will put them in a pot and she'll mix them up like she's cooking, pretending to cook and all that kind of stuff. So the ones from Jacques of London are really beautifully well made. They are offering actually a 15% discount, which I've put down below. So if you are interested in getting your own and you're looking for some really good quality set of dominoes, then take advantage of that. So the next one is Shut the Box, which is one of those toys that isn't really a toy, but can be used for children as a toy, if that makes sense. We actually discovered it, my husband and I, first when we were in a restaurant a few years ago. They were playing at the next table, they were playing Shut the Box. And we were really fascinated to see what it was. So we watched them for a bit and then we had a little play and then we bought our own set. But then when my daughter came along, she was very interested in it. She loved how the numbers flip down and they flip up. So she'd been kind of playing around with it from a very young age. And then as she got older, we introduced her to the dice. Obviously at the stage where she wasn't eating things. And then she would count the dots on the dice and then she'd flip them up and down. So it's really good for math work again, but it's just really fun as well. Any opportunity where you can introduce your child to math, language, numbers, counting, all that kind of stuff is really good, but in a really fun way. That's why I love games like this. Yes, they're learning, yes, they're counting, yes, they're being introduced to math language, but it's really fun for them and they'll remember that experience and they'll want to come back to it, which is what play is all about. So the next one is snakes and ladders. We're very much into board games at the moment. That's something that we've started doing over the last year. Started playing lots of different board games. and Snakes and Ladders is one of them. The set that we've got from Jacques of London is really good quality. It's like a linen one. Comes in a beautiful box, it's easy to pack away. It's got lots of detail and it has that kind of vintage appeal, it has that vintage feel which I really love. So board games are great because they introduce children to strategy and to rules. They're introducing children to more math work but in a really fun way. And obviously it has that very unique feel to it with the snakes and the ladders. It's not the same as any kind of other board game where you're going around the board. You've got those little obstacles and things to look for, which is really interesting for children. I only recommend things that we love and I only recommend things that are really good quality. And all of those toys that toys that are not toys that I've mentioned so far are things that last. You know, Shut the Box is something that adults can play. Snakes and Ladders is something that adults can play. So I love toys that kind of grow with the child. I don't like waste, I don't like to get rid of things unnecessarily, and I don't like spending money on things that aren't going to last. So that's something that I can say for all of those toys that I've mentioned so far, is they will grow with the child. They are things that you can keep and use in so many different ways, really, really flexible. So number 4 on the list is Sylvanian families. My daughter got a few different Sylvanian family sets for Christmas, and I can't tell you how much she's in love with them. She hasn't stopped playing with them. Every day it's her go-to toy because her favourite type of play at the moment is small world play. So these are absolutely perfect for children who love small world play. So they're not ideal for young children because some of the pieces can be so tiny and intricate. So they are better for a child that doesn't like to eat things, that can be a little bit more gentle and a little bit more concentrated in their play. So, I mean, the reason I love them is because I do remember as a child Sylvanian families, a lot of my friends played with them. Although it wasn't my go-to toy when I was younger, they do have this kind of nostalgic feel, this vintage feel about them, because there's definitely been a resurgence with Sylvanian families toys, and I just love how cute they are. I love the detail. They all have little tiny clothes on, and for a person like me who likes small things like that, they're really, really appealing. But obviously I'm not the one playing with them, even though I do love them. My daughter loves them too. So every day is her kind of go-to toy. I love that there's so many different choices. So a few years ago I got her a little tree house, which was a Sylvanian families set, and she still plays with that now. And then she's got a little bus and lots of, you know, little people to go inside, and she can play with it for hours and come up with so many different ideas and variations on her play. It's just such a great toy for imagination and encouraging lots of creativity and lots of ideas and problem solving, etc., which is exactly what we want for our children. So I've linked it below. If you're interested in getting your first little Sylvanian family set, then I've linked below a couple of different options. So number 5, this is a bit of a weird one, and you might be like, why is this on the list? But again, it is a toy. Well, I say a toy, a resource that my daughter got for Christmas, and she hasn't stopped playing with it. It's called play foam. It's a bit of a weird one. So it's basically like foam balls, and they're kind of blended together with a very sticky substance. But the good thing about it is they don't lose their stick, and at the same time, they don't stick to anything, which I love. It's a bit like kinetic sand. It doesn't really stick to anything, but it has that kind of moldable texture. It's very similar to that. So the play foam can be molded into lots of different shapes. It actually comes with some alphabet cards, so she can mold around the different letters and kind of get a feel for how to create them. So it's kind of early stages of writing, really, and using her hands in that way. I love that it stays sticky because it gives you that reusable element to it. I don't like waste, as you know, so anything that can be reused and long lasting I really love. She uses it in a very open-ended way, so she'll use it in her small world play. She'll kind of bring it over and she'll make little pillows out of it or put it into cooking or whatever. But as soon as she's done with it, you kind of stick it all back together, put it back in the packaging, and it's ready to go. It doesn't need to be covered over, it just stays sticky. It's quite amazing. So yes, I'm putting that on the list because if you have a child that loves to kind of get their hands into things like Play-Doh and that sensory feel of touching and moulding, then this is a really great toy for that. So that's my list of 5. Those are the 5 things that my daughter is absolutely in love with at the moment. I've linked them below. with the 15% discount for Jacques of London. So if you're interested in checking out some of the resources that Jacques have, then do have a look on the website. There's loads more, as well as board games, as well as toys for really young children. So do check them out because they are a really wonderful company. So again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to my channel. I really love your support. It's really important to me for growing my channel. So don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe and share. And I'll see you in the next video.